So hello everyone. So this is the project demonstration of the our project work, which is done under the guidance of Nalaiyathiran project works. So our project title is Retail Store Stock Inventory Analysis, and teammates are Sendhilnathan E, Gayathri G, Haritha K, and Sanjith S. So, moving on to the project. So, our work is based on retail to stock inventory analysis, and the team ID is 2022 TMID12898. So, we have worked on analyzing the superstore data. So initially we get the user query. So what is the problem the user face with respect to the US Superstore? Followed by we work on pre-processing the data in order to make it processable and configurable in order to obtain the solution to the query of the user. Followed by creation of the dashboards. So these dashboards will give you an insight of what the current analytic status of the processed data is. And then we are creating a report that is a readable format to the user to understand whether their query can be rectified or not. So now moving on to the problem statement. This is the problem statement that we have taken. So initially a consumer is raising the query that they are trying to buy accessories, but they are not satisfied in buying it because they reside at San Francisco, which is taken as an example, that the particular accessory is not available at San Francisco. So the reason for this query is that accessories are shipped lesser in case of the locality, and huge shipping rate is being imposed. So which makes the customer very much worried about the much expenses sent. Now working on the architecture of the project. So we have created an user interface architecture where the user can send the query, and the query will be analyzed based on the dataset available. So when the dataset is analyzed, it can be made to visualize the dataset whether the query can be solved or not. So based on that, if it can be solved because there is a good sales in that area, then the stock inventory can be increased. In case not, then the stock inventory is not actually increased, but rather goodies and discounts are provided to increase the sales of that area. This is the basic architecture that we have designed. So now talking about the user interface, this is a basic HTML page that we have created for the user to insert their queries. For example, the name, we have taken a sample username of Alice, who is residing in the locality of San Francisco. The query is that they could not buy accessory items because it is not available in their area. It always runs out of stock. And to add on query, they could not spend much on the delivery of the items. So this is the query that they have given in the HTML page. Now this is the data set that we have taken in order to work the processing of the particular query. So let us see that the customer's ID and the segment and the country, city, state, as well as the postal ID. So the product ID category, subcategory, and all the discount sales and everything about the US Superstore data set is available in here. So all the data will be processed in order to obtain the insights of the data set. And now talking about the pre-processing state. So it is seen that this is the basic dashboard which is created in order to obtain the visualizations. So you can see that very few visualizations are illustrated here. The detailed visualizations using the IBM Cognos Analytics is pushed in the IBM GitHub repository. So this is a basic insight that we obtain like profit by orders and sales like using year and month. So this is to obtain what is the current status of the data set and what is the current status of the sales and stock inventory in the localities. So moving on to the next, we have created the basic Cognos platform. So we have already done the analysis part in the Cognos Analytics, as well as we use Google Collaboratory for a platform where we insert the data set, and then we do initial pre-processing of the data set where we remove all the null set data. So in case of null data, it will be initially removed and the data is initially cleaned, followed by splitting of the data so that it will be made easier for processing, and the null data are removed here and the processing starts in here. So the ship modes of data are illustrated here, followed by the cities, and the sales values are also mentioned here. Now the following that, the count and the cities are mentioned in using these statistical graphs, followed by the sales of the cities, sales of the states are mentioned here, and the top sales of the states are illustrated here. and following that, the high revenue states are illustrated and the sales of the city are considered. So you can see that the San Francisco stands in the top 10 sales areas. But following that, when we try to see the accessory list, it can be visualized from here, that in case of the accessory list, we get to know the subcategory with highest sales. It is not lying in the top 10 subcategories. So you can see the subcategory does not include accessory which has a highest sales. So from this report being generated, it can be converted into an HTML page. So the same data which is seen in the collaborative platform, it is a private platform. It can be visualized as an HTML page. The same report can be viewable to the user. So this states that from the report we can observe that the user query cannot be currently solved because there is no good sales for the accessories in the San Francisco area. The other format which is used to run is that initially the data set is taken in and the inbuilt report creation is used in here. So from this, the pandas is used to create a report on the data set, and following that it can be converted to a HTML page where the output page is obtained as follows. So from this, the insights of the data and what are the alerts and what are the reproduction, how much time it takes to analyze the data set are seen here, and what is the correlation between each of the data set can be seen here. And this report is also helpful in finding out that the current problem statement raised by the user is not currently solvable, but in future, the future scope and the further works involves that the data set, if there is an increase in the sales of the area with respect to the accessories, then there can be an stock incremental and inventory can be increased in that particular accessory of the particular locality. So this is the final work that we have concluded. Thank you everyone.